Namo Namaha Bhaktam Sarvesham Hartam Swagatam. Welcome back to my channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you're doing great. I'm also good. And continuing in a series learning Sanskrit through Gita, today we will decode two shlokas together. That is the 24th and the 25th shloka of the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. And since both the shlokas are contextually connected with each other, so it is better that we tackle both the shlokas together. So without further ado, let's quickly dive in today's video. Okay, so these are the two shlokas that we will tackle today. Let me go through the shlokas once. Sanjaya Uvach एवमुक्तो ऋषिकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम् भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुक्ताः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् संवेतान् कुरूनिति. So this is the first shloka that we'll tackle today, and this is the Sandhi Vichhed version of the same shloka. So you see these words like a combination word senyorubhyor madhye. But upon Sandhi Vichhed, these opens as individual words. Senyoho, ubhyoho, madhye. And similar kind of thing is happening in the next shloka also, the 25th shloka. So you see here a single long word. Pashyaitan samvetan kuruniti. This on Sandhi Vichhed opens as individual words. Pashya etan samvetan kurun iti. And again, this combination you see, kurun iti. So this is simple to understand that you have a halant consonant at the end. So you have a halant consonant, that is a half consonant, plus you have a vowel. So whenever this situation happens, you have a halant consonant and a vowel, the consonant simply attaches itself with the vowel. So n plus e becomes ni. So that is what is happening here. Kuruni iti. Kurun iti. And same thing happening here also. Samvetan kurun. So you have a half na, and that is what you can see here in the shloka also. Samvetan, half na. But if you see here, Pashyaitan. So here a sandhi is happening. Pashyetan. So this a, this is changing into a dirgha ay. Pashyetan, Pashyaitan, a dirgha ay. So what sandhi is this? How it is operating? All the detail about sandhis is available in the PDF file. You can download the PDF file from the link in the description box. And all the sandhi details, all the word-to-word meanings, breakdown, everything is available in the PDF file. So download it and keep it for your ready reference. Okay, and now let's start decoding the shloka. So as usual, we will start with an anchor word. So we are starting with Uvach. Uvach is coming from here. Uvach. So this is the 25th shloka. And see, that's why we are taking both the shlokas together. Because we are not starting with the 24th shloka. Rather, we are starting with a 25th shloka. And then we will work our way backwards for the entirety of these two shlokas. So anyways, we will start with this word Uvach. This particular word we have seen quite often. Sanjaya Uvach before lot of shlokas. Arjuna Uvach. Uvach simply means he or she, some third person, spoke. And in our context here, we already know that this he is referring to Krishna, Rishikesha. That we will see further in the shloka. Uvach simply means spoke. And we get this word from the verb root vach. This is the verb root that means to speak. Very common verb root, very useful verb root. And this particular verb root, vach, in third person, singular, that one person is doing the action, some third person, and lit lakar. Lit lakar is past perfect tense. So all the events that happened in a distant past, in a very long time back. So in order to denote that, we don't use simple past, we rather use past perfect tense. That is lit lakar in Sanskrit. So in these three properties, third person, singular, lit lakar, this vach changes into uvach. So we start with this Uvach, he spoke. And immediately a question will pop up, who? Who spoke? And the response is Rishikesha Uvach. So Rishikesha, I think you already are aware of this by now. Rishikesha is a very common name of Sri Krishna, another name of Sri Krishna. And since this here is in first word case, why? Because he is the subject. He is the karta of this particular action, Uvach. So Rishikesha Uvach, simply meaning Krishna spoke. What did he spoke and everything? We'll decode further in the shloka. So now the follow-up question is Kidrishaha. What like? Like this Rishikesha, Krishna, how is he described in the shloka? So, Eva Muktaha Rishikesha, thus addressed Krishna. So let us understand this thing. So this particular word Uktaha, this comes again from the same verb root vach. So vach we have already seen here, Uvach. This same verb root vach, that means to speak, and then we modify this verb root using ta suffix. So we have already seen this suffix before also, ta suffix. What does ta suffix do? It changes the meaning into an action that was done in the past. So vach means to speak, and when you add this suffix, the suffix, it means spoken. So these words, these are known as verb based adjective. So they are also adjective, but these adjectives are derived from a verb root by adding an suffix. So this is the general method of arriving at these verb based adjectives. So we take a verb root, we take a suffix, we combine them, and we form a different word, ukta. Ukta simply means someone is spoken to or someone who was addressed before. And if you remember the context, if you remember the previous shlokas, in previous shlokas, I don't exactly remember the number of the shloka, but in 2 or 3 shlokas back, we saw Arjuna, he speaks to Shri Krishna that, O Krishna, kindly park my chariot in the middle of both the armies so that I can observe all the warriors. That was his request. So that is the context we are carrying here. That Krishna, who was addressed, who was already addressed before by Arjuna. So that is the meaning of Ukta here. Vach plus ta suffix. So Ukta Rishikesha and Evam, this is a indeclinable or an avyay. This simply means thus. That thus addressed Rishikesha. That Shri Krishna who was so addressed by Arjuna. How so? We have already seen in the previous shlokas that, oh Krishna, park my vehicle between both the armies. So thus addressed Rishikesha, he spoke. Rishikesha, Krishna spoke. That is the sense up till here. And if we'll move on, again, obvious question that by whom? That thus addressed by whom? And we already know the answer to this. Guda Keshen, that is by Arjuna. So Arjuna is being addressed here with this name, Gudakesh. And why Gudakesh? Because Gudaka plus Isha. This is the combination, this is the samas. That is Gudaka plus Isha. That is why Gudakesh. Ish, we already know, Lord, or basically master, one who has control, one who has complete control, or who is the master of Gudaka. Gudaka means sleep or nindra or alasya, that is the feeling of laziness. So one who has control over his sleep or one who is the master of this sleep. Arjuna, he was so hardworking that he could practice his warrior moves throughout the night, and then again in the morning he will be present first in the classroom in the Gurukul. So he was very hardworking, and so he was referred to as someone who has complete control over his sleep. So that control over sleep, over this Gudaka, that's why he is called as Gudakesha. So this is how you can open this samas. So throughout Gita, no, you will see this thing that all the same characters. We are only talking about two characters, but again and again, this Krishna and Arjuna, they are referring to each other with different names. So Parth, Gudakesh, and again Krishna is referred to as Rishikesh, Madhava, all these different names, and all these different names have some or other meaning. So if you just decode the combination, the samas word, you can very well find the meaning. So wherever I notice these words, I will try to convey the meaning also. Okay, so I hope you understand why Arjuna is called Gudakesh. So, Lord of sleep or the controller of sleep. So you are saying of sleep. So Gudaka, this will change as if you want to do the complete Sanskrit breakdown of this particular samas. So Gudaka, and you want to say of Gudaka. So you want to use the sixth case, right? So Gudaka will change into Gudakayaha. So Gudakayaha Ish, that is the master, the controller of sleep. Gudakayaha Ish Sah Gudakesha. That is one who is the master of sleep. That is called Gudakesha. So this is how you can break down the complete samas. This is how you can open up the samas. So anyways, we know this thing. Let's move on. Okay, now the question is Kim or what? So we saw that Shri Krishna, who was addressed by Arjuna, he spoke. Now I am asking what? What did he spoke? And the response is Parth Pashya. That Uvach, that he spoke. Parth Pashya. Parth, again, this is another name of Arjuna. And you see here, it is not written as Partha or it is not written as Partham. This is simply written as Parth. So this is the eighth case. Eighth case is when we want to address someone, that in Sanskrit we call Sambodhan, that O Arjuna, O Krishna. So that exclamation, the call with an exclamation mark, that is the eighth case. So this here Parth, this simply translates as O Arjuna. That is what Krishna is saying, that O Arjuna Pashya. That means look. O Arjuna, look. This particular verb, this comes from the verb root drish. Drish means to see or to look. And since Krishna is saying this to Arjuna, so a second person, second person is being asked to do the action, that is Madhyam Purush. Krishna directly speaking to Arjuna that you take a look. So second person, obviously singular because Arjuna is one person. And lot lakar, lot lakar is imperative mood. If you remember, imperative mood is when we want to give an order or we want to make a request. So since Krishna is asking Arjuna, so obviously it is a sort of an order, because Krishna is like a teacher to Arjuna. So Krishna is asking Arjuna that, oh Arjuna, take a look at whatever he will tell. So that is why we are using lot lakar, like a command, like a order. So in drish, this particular verb root in second person singular form, lot lakar changes into pashya. So that is the sense here. Parth pashya, O Arjuna, take a look. O Arjuna, look, watch. That is the sense here. And he further continues that Parth etan kurun pashya. That is what Krishna uvach. Krishna spoke. So, O Arjuna, look. Look at what? Look at kurun. So this kurun comes from the base word, the pratipadik kuru. Who is Kuru? Kuru means the Kaurava person. And since I am talking about multiple Kaurava person, basically he is talking about the entire army of Kaurava people. That, oh Arjuna, take a look at all these Kaurava warriors. So since he is talking about multiple people, so we will use the plural form. And second case. Why second case? Because very easily you can understand that this is the object, that Arjuna take a look at these Kaurava warriors. So since these Kaurava warrior, these are the object, the karma of this action. So in second case. So in second case plural form, the pratipadik kuru, it will change into kurun. And look at these Kaurava warriors. So this is coming from this pronoun etan. So etad, this is the pratipadik, the base. Etat pronoun, that means this. Whenever we want to point at someone, this. So that is this pronoun etat. And since this pronoun is pointing towards the noun kuru, so again the same form, the same second case plural, just as its noun. So second case plural, etat changes into etan. So etan kurun pashya. O Arjuna, take a look at these Kauravas, at these Kaurava warriors. That is the sense up till here. And if we look further, that is Kidrishan, what like? That how Sri Krishna is describing these Kaurava warriors. So Samvetan. Samvetan, you can already guess the Pratipadik. Pratipadik is Samaveta. And Samaveta, this Pratipadik we have already seen in the very first shloka. Samavetaha Yujutsavaha. So Samavet simply means gathered together. Gathered together. And since Krishna is saying that look at all these Kaurava warriors who are gathered together. So this particular word, this is an adjective. And since adjective is describing this noun kurun, so again using the same form. So second case plural. So in second case plural, this Samvet also changes as Samvetan. Just as Ram will change as Raman. I hope you already get the logic of these declensions now. Like how the similar words, Ram, Samvet, all these words changes their form as per the different word cases similarly. So I hope you get the logic by now. That is the sense here. Etan Samvetan Kurun Pashya. Look at these gathered warriors, gathered Kaurava warriors. That is what Iti Uvach. That is what Krishna is telling Arjuna to do. This iti you see, no, in a lot of Sanskrit text you are going to see this word. This is an avyaya, an indeclinable. And again, this simply means this, thus. That you have a direct speech, that this is a direct speech, Krishna said, and then you use iti uvach. Okay, so iti is simply like a pointing finger, that this is what Krishna spoke, Krishna uvach, iti uvach. So that is the sense here. Let us move on. Till now, we have seen the context that Sri Krishna spoke to Arjuna that kindly take a look at these Kaurava people. But now, as per the context of the shloka, Kim Kritva, after doing what? After doing what did he say these words to Arjuna? And the response is Sthapayitva. You see, Sthapayitva is coming from the 24th shloka. Sthapayitva Ratottamam. So Sthapayitva simply means having parked or having placed. But since as per the context of the shloka, we know we are talking about the chariot here. So since chariot is a vehicle, so parked is a better alternative, better word for doing that. Having parked the vehicle or having placed the chariot, whatever feels okay to you. Okay, so let us understand this word sthapayitva. Where does this come from? So sthapayitva comes from the verb root, the dhatu istha. Istha means to stand or to settle at some particular position. So that is the sense here. But I am modifying this verb root using this suffix nich suffix. I hope you remember this suffix nich suffix. Nich suffix, what does it do? When I want to say that the action is caused by someone else. So the context, as per the context, Krishna, he made the chariot to stand in between both the armies. So basically you can say that I made the vehicle to stand, or you can say that I parked the vehicle. Contextually it means the same thing, that you park a vehicle somewhere. That is, you made the vehicle to stand, to settle at some position. So since I want to convey that meaning, that Krishna is parking the vehicle somewhere, that is why we are not using this verb root as such. We are modifying it using nich suffix, because I want to say that caused to stand, or made to stand for the chariot. So first we modify this verb root using nich suffix. So this entire becomes our modified verb root. And then we further modify it using twa suffix. And I hope you remember this suffix also, twa suffix. Twa suffix is used to modify the verb root in order to denote an action that happened before some other action. So I say that balakah pathitva kridati, that the boy after studying plays, or Krishna ratham sthapayitva uvach, that Krishna after parking the chariot, he spoke these words to Arjuna. So first he parked the vehicle, then he uvach, then he spoke. So in order to denote an action that happened before some other action, we use this twa suffix. So we have already covered these suffixes before also in previous shlokas, wherever we had this suffix. So anyways, that is the sense here. Stha plus nich, then modified further using twa suffix, and the entire word becomes sthapayitva. So that is the sense here. Anyways, let us move on. So you already know this. Come what? Like having parked what? And we already know the answer is rathottamam, sthapayitva. See, it is coming from here. Sthapayitva rathottamam. So Rathottamam simply meaning the magnificent chariot. So Rathottamam, this again is a samas, a combination word, which is combination of two words, Rath plus Uttam. So Rath, you already know, Rath means chariot. Rath means chariot. And Uttam again is to denote the superlative quality of something. Uttam is great or best or magnificent. So a great chariot. So Rath Uttam changes into Rathottam. And since this particular noun is the object of this particular action, sthapayitva. So since this is an object, so which case will it go? It will go in second word case. Second word case. That why Rathottam, it changes as Rathottamam. This is what it changes into. Rathottamam. Had it been the first case, if it was in first case, the word would have become Rathottamaha, just as Ramaha. But since this is an object, that having parked the chariot, since this is an object, the karma, so this will assume the second case and change into Rathottamam, the magnificent chariot, referring to the chariot of Arjuna and Krishna. That is the sense here. Now again, before moving forward, I again want to give one extra piece of information. This samas, Rathottamam, now you can open this samas as either of the two ways. So always for a samas, there are different interpretations that you can apply. So Rathottaman, this particular can be opened as Ratha Uttamaha, that a very good chariot, a great chariot, a magnificent chariot. Or you can also open it as Ratheshu Uttama. Ratheshu, this means this is the seventh case. And when we use the seventh case plural of something like Ratheshu, so this is actually done to denote the comparison that among all the chariots, this is the Uttam, this is the best one. Ratheshu. Ratheshu simply mean, because we are using the seventh case, so this means in chariots, right? In chariots. This is what the sense here. Seventh case is used to denote in. So this is used for in or on. But again, another use of seventh case plural is when we want to show a comparison that among all the chariots, this is the Uttam, this is the best one. So Ratheshu Uttama, that is Rathottamam. So you can either interpret it like this or you can interpret it like this, that Ratha Uttam. Because anyways, when two individual words they combine into a samas, you already know that we use their pratipadik form. We don't use their any first case, second case form. So whatever form is there, we remove it. We just use the pratipadik. So rath plus uttam. That is how we combine two words into a samas. And then we apply the word case in the overall word. So rathottam, then we apply the word case rathottamam. That is the sense here. Okay, so what I just discussed there for the samas, it can be a bit confusing since we have not taken samas as an individual topic. But as I said in the previous video, that whenever I will encounter any samas, any combination word, I will at least try to open it, interpret it as we interpret in Sanskrit. So just look at what I'm doing, revisit the video, just do a bit of a research of samas on your own. Not a very hefty topic. Again, in the future, I might take this individual topic in any separate video. But for now, let us try and work out the samas like this only. Whenever we find one, we will try to open them also, just to see how it can open, how we can interpret them, samas. So that is it. But for now, let us move on. So, Sthapayitva, having parked what? Having parked the magnificent chariot. And now I'm asking, Kutra, where? Where did he park? And that is Madhye. Madhye is an indeclinable or an avyay. Madhye simply means, as you can already guess, in the middle. Madhye means in between, in the middle. So, in the middle, he parked the chariot. Again, an obvious follow-up question is, Kayoho, in the middle of what? And the response is Ubhyoho Senyoho Madhye. That is in the middle of both armies. So, Sena. You see this word Senyoho. This comes from the base word Sena. And Sena, this is a feminine gender word. And since I want to say in the middle of both army, so here we are talking about two armies. So we are going to use the dual. We have ekvachan, dvivachan, bahuvachan, right? So we will use dual, dvivachan, because we are talking about two armies, Pandava army and Kaurava army. And I want to say of in the middle of Sena. So I will use the sixth case. So in sixth case, dual, dvivachan, this particular word Sena, this changes as Senyoho. That means of two armies. And this Ubhayoho, this comes from the base word Ubha. Ubha simply means two. Simply means two. So again, Ubha is like an adjective to this noun. And since adjective and noun both will match the same properties, so Ubha also here, this will be in sixth case Dvivachan. So Ubha also changed into Ubhyoho. So together, Ubhyoho Senyo simply meaning of both armies. Madhye, in the middle of both armies, that is where Shri Krishna, he Sthapayita, he parked the chariot, Rathottamam, the magnificent chariot. That is the sense up till here. Okay, so let us move on. So we already saw that Krishna, he parked the chariot in between of both the armies. But there is still more information present in this shloka. So let us take that also. So Punaschukutra, where else? There is more information. And the response is Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha. So the important word here is Pramukhataha. Pramukhataha, this is an indeclinable or an avyay. And this means in front of or at the face of. So since Krishna, he placed the chariot in between both the armies. So you can imagine that there is the Pandava army on one side, then there is the chariot, then there is the Kaurava army. And of course, Arjuna and Krishna, they are facing the Kaurava army because that is their enemies with whom they have to fight. So Dronacharya and Bhishma, since they are the chief persons of the army, so obviously they are standing in the front of the Kaurava army. So you can imagine that how the chariot is facing directly Bhishma and Dronacharya. So that is what the poet is trying to convey further, that he placed the chariot in between both the armies and in front of Bhishma and Dronacharya. So Bhishma and Drona Pramukhta, in front of. That is what the sense here. And if we'll open the shloka further, there is just one more information. Sarvesham Mahikshitam cha. So let us understand this word first. Mahikshit. So Mahikshitam, this comes from the Pratipadik Mahikshit. Mahikshit means world kings, that kings from all over the world. That is the meaning here, Mahikshit. And this is a Takarant word. Why Takarant? Because this is ending with a Ta, with a Halant Ta. So any other familiar word we know, a Takarant word? Of course, this is the word, Bhavat. And Bhavat means you, with respect. Bhavatam, Bhavatam Sarvesham Hardam Swagatam. Bhavan Nam Kim. what is your name? Bhavanana. So yeah, same kind of word. Bhavat, takarant word. Mahikshit also takarant word. And since this pramuktaha, even though this pramukta is used with this Bhishma and Drona, but this pramukta, you think of it that this is also referring to these Mahikshit, that in front of Bhishma and Drona, but also in front of all these kings, all the different kings of different empires that might be supporting Kaurva warriors, Kaurva side. So, lot of kings, some took Pandava side, some took Kaurva side. So, all those kings, all the kings from all around the world who took the side of Kaurva, so in front of them also he placed the chariot. So, this Pramukta is not repeated, but think of it as a common word that is being used for this Bhishma Drona also and this Mahikshit also. So I want to say in front of the world kings. So again, I am going to use the sixth case and plural. Why plural? Because lot of different kings. And in sixth case plural, this Mahikshit, it changes into this Mahikshitam. Just as this word Bhavat, it changes into Bhavatam. And I say no, that Bhavatam Sarvesham Hardam Swagatam. So I say I welcome all of you. So Sarvesham. This again is a pronoun, you can already guess, comes from the word sarv. Sarv means all. And again, since this pronoun is pointing towards this particular noun, Mahikshitam, Bhavatam, so it will use the same sixth case plural. So in sixth case plural, this sarv changes into Sarvesham. So Bhavatam Sarvesham, all of you. Sarvesham Mahikshitam, in front of all the worldly kings, in front of all the world kings, he placed the chariot. That is the sense here. Okay, so we have completed the shloka. This is the Anvay. Since we are combining two shlokas, so okay, let me open the translation also. So Bharat. Okay, so this Bharat, this is referring to Dhritarashtra. Since Sanjay is narrating all these events, Sanjay Uvach, no, Sanjay is narrating all these events to King Dhritarashtra. That this is what happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Dhritarashtra, he was the descendant of King Bharat. So that is why he is being referred to as Bharat. You have seen these words like Apatyavachak Sangya, that son of Kunti, he is called Kaunteya, son of Draupadi, he is called Draupadeya. So similarly, son of Bharat, he is called Bharat, simply referring to Dhritarashtra. So Bharat, O descendant of Bharat, this is what Sanjay is saying. Then, thus addressed by Arjuna, so evam uktah Gudakeshen, thus addressed by Arjuna, who Rishikesha, his charioteer Rishikesha, Krishna, Sthapayitva, that is having parked what? Rathottamam, the magnificent chariot, where? Madhye Ubhyo Senyo, Madhya, that is in the middle, Ubhyo Senyo, middle of both armies, and Pramukataha, that is in front of Bhishma Drona, and that is Cha Sarvesham Mahikshitam, and in front of all the other kings from all around the world that took the side of Kaurava. So he placed the chariot in between both the armies facing them. Then Iti Uvach spoke thus. What did he spoke to Arjuna? That is the dialogue. That Partha, that is O Arjuna, Pashya. Take a look. Kindly look at what? Kurun. At the Kauravas. Etan Samvetan Kurun. At these Kauravas who are gathered here together. So this is the entire sense here, that Krishna parked the chariot in between both the armies, and then he said to Arjuna that Arjuna, kindly take a look at all these warriors from the Kaurava side. That is the sense of 24th and 25th shloka combined. And so that was it. That was the entire decoding of the 24th and 25th shloka. And I agree that since we combined both the shlokas, it might be a lot of words. But again, we are covering nothing new. All these suffixes, all these things we have already covered in the previous shlokas also. So if you are someone who is continuing these videos from the starting, I don't think there would have been any problem. But if in case there is some confusion, you can revisit this video. Please download the PDF file, because when you will read the PDF file on your own, a lot of things I said in the videos, it will also clear up. So a lot of information in PDF file also, maybe I miss out something in video, you can find it in the PDF file. So go through that PDF file, revisit the video if you want to. If there are some concepts that are unfamiliar, that are confusing, don't worry. Again in next shlokas, whenever we'll encounter them, we'll again try to understand them. So again and again practicing and understanding them, one day eventually we'll understand these things completely, and then it will be a second nature. to understand these shlokas and everything. So don't worry about that. Just keep on learning, keep on enjoying, and I'll see you in the next video with the next shloka. Until then, stay awesome, stay happy. Vayam punah milamaha. Dhanyavad.